Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to today. It's April 15th. Welcome to the 8 Ball TV. Fuck me. um, hello. Welcome to today's Hangout. Today, we're going to be learning about the Internet Archive and specifically the Wayback Machine, and we're going to learn about the ways that it's important. Today is April 15th. Thanks for coming, everybody. Here we go. Okay. So here we are on my Zoom screen. Haha. um, how do we make that go away? Oh, that's so embarrassing. Okay. That's how I log into my work computer. Step one is you're going to want to go to archive.org. Will the attendees of this workshop raise their hands if they've been to archive.org before? Okay, that's amazing. So archive.org is the website of the Internet Archive. The Internet Archive was founded in 1996. As far as I know, it started out as basically what this Wayback Machine is. It started out, the project was to archive websites, and now it's expanded to, as you can see, books, movies, software, music, websites, and more. When I was in library school, I read about the Internet Archive, and what I think is important to know about it, which I'm going to um, go to our About page to show you this. What I think is important to know is that this building on the About page isn't just like clip art of a building that looks like a library. This is actually the library. This is actually the building that the Internet Archive is in. And it just is like rooms and rooms of servers. And their mission is and was to make information free and freely accessible. Oh, we've got a chat. Oh yeah, this is Coco's office. um, that's so cool. I'm so jealous. So if I bring up my schedule, will it show it to you? Raise your hand if you can see my schedule. Okay, cool. That's fun. It's a secret. So I want to start out by talking about actually not the Wayback Machine, but the Internet Archive. The Internet Archive, if you just search in let's go back to the home page. If you just search down here on this search tool, it'll give you results, but I I don't like using just the search tool so much. This is the case in like all libraries. Just using the search tool generally sucks. Because it just searches keywords, which is not as specific as you want it to be. But let's try it. What do I want to look up? Always looking for nice video content of jellyfish. This is an image of a jellyfish. That's wonderful. This is actually some great jellyfish content. These are books that you can borrow. This is an album. Cool. If you're looking for video, for example, you can just select movies and what's this going to be? Is this a video? No, it's an image. So that's fine. But when you're searching, you're always going to want to go to the advanced search just generally because you make smarter searches. But what I really want to show you today is a few highlights from the Internet Archive that I just love to use. I am an 8Ball TV volunteer primarily, and when we're screening videos on 8Ball TV, they need to be a certain length because if a video is, for example, 12 minutes long, then when it's uploaded to our player, it's going to leave 3 minutes of dead air because our player picks up every 15 minutes. So what I like to do is if we get a 12-minute submission, usually that artist or TV maker person can't add 3 minutes because they don't have 3 more minutes of like material for that show. So what I like to do is I like to go in the Internet Archive and I like to look for old commercials or like really short shows that are on the Internet Archive. Um, and one of the things that I love to look at when it comes to old film is the Prelinger Archive. They have some kooky shit and it's all old and like gorgeous. Um, so this, for example, this is a video on posture from 1953. Like it's anthropological gold. And to download videos from the Internet Archive, some videos aren't available for download, but to download them, you scroll down and a usable format is H.264. That's like the encoding that you have to do if you're going to put something on YouTube, for example. So H.264, it's 63 megs. That's like not too big. This is like also pretty small. You could do these MP. This is MP4. This would only be the audio, I think, but I would just do the H.264. Oh yes, Kate, we love that H.264. So that's the Prelinger archive. I recommend just like fucking around on that page on the Internet Archive because of the old stuff that it has is honestly just amazing. Eat for Health, that's got to be. Joan Avoids a Cold, very relevant. Sniffles and Sneezes, so cute. Care of the Skin, Jesus Christ, like these are awesome. Hi Maggie, welcome. Maggie's joined us from the other room in the home that I'm in. Okay, so the Prelinger archive, amazing. The next thing that I just found out about today is the TV news archive that the Internet Archive supports, I guess. And I'm gonna go to Google to find that. Internet Archive TV news. So basically one of the projects that the Internet Archive does is the TV news archive. And can I get a check? Can y'all hear me and can you see that I'm on the TV news archive webpage? Thumbs up, swag. Thanks everyone. If you've ever tried to search YouTube for like news clips, you know that they're not super easy to find, and YouTube should not be our culture's archive for the news. So here we on the Internet Archive, since 9/11, they've been putting together collections of news clips and they're searchable by the closed captions. So who is muted and who is not muted? Hi, Catherine. I'm muting you. I'm muting everybody. Okay. So you can search back to 2001 for news clips, or actually, I guess closed captions. You can search 2009 to yesterday, but they've been keeping news since 9/11, and that makes for pretty poignant searching. And I recommend it for research and for artists.
Can you show us an example of searching for a clip from the captions?
Sure. What's a current event? Let's try Hurricane Maria. Basically, when I say it's searching closed captions, it's instead of the clips themselves being tagged, the info is in the searchable information is the closed captions. So that gave us 12,000 results. And so, for example, this clip here, happening now, Fox News Southwest, September, whatever, if you didn't know what date to search for, you wouldn't be able to find that clip. But because we'll have to see what happens to Hurricane Maria is in the closed captions of this news clip, then it popped up in the search. So that's the TV News Archive. And what's the next thing that I want to show you? Okay, the third of the four things I want to show you is a very specific collection that's close to my heart, which is the Guggenheim Whitney art resources from the mid 20th century. The Guggenheim and the Whitney got like a joint grant basically to have their old catalogs archived and stored on the Internet Archive. So, oops, oh, good, that worked well. If you just like searched Guggenheim Whitney, we've got a chat. Thank you, Em. I think it's so freaking cool. Guggenheim Whitney art resources from the mid 20th century. It has almost 800 items, and basically you can look at old exhibition catalogs from the Guggenheim and from the Whitney. For example, these Kandinsky catalogs. This is so cool. Like, these are really hard to find in libraries. If you were to check this out from a library, you would have to go to like the Guggenheim's library, or you would have to go to maybe the Met's library, and you wouldn't be able to leave the library to look at it. Like, you would have to look at it inside the Met during business hours. But instead, you can look at it here, in your own home. And you can just click through and read and read and read that gorgeous sans serif font that they thought was a good idea. There unfailingly arises some human being. Roasted. That's something you can play around with. The last thing that I want to take you all to is a child company, for you might be able to say, of the Internet Archive, which is openlibrary.org. And Open Library is something that I wouldn't ordinarily use because I can't read ebooks. It's hard on my eyeballs. But since I actually can't go to a physical library these days, Open Library has like 3 million ebooks that you can just borrow. And you can sign up like today, right now. It takes 5 minutes, and you don't have to bring them a piece of mail with your address on it like you do at NYPL. Malika can't find the Guggenheim Whitney section. Malika, what did you search? Can you put it in the chat? Huh. Let's go back to archive.org. And for those who aren't looking at the chat, one of our visitors couldn't find. Oh, currently there's also. Oh, Coco announces currently there's no limit on the number of digital lending that they do on Open Library. Thank you, Coco. That's awesome. So let's try and search the Internet Archive for the Guggenheim Whitney one more time to make sure it works. Let's try Guggenheim Whitney 20th century. Is it because I spelled it wrong? So Malika, if you spell everything right, searching Guggenheim Whitney and 20th century should work. It might be that the hyphen between Guggenheim and Whitney didn't have any spaces when you searched, so it like thought it was one word. Oh no, it worked for me that time. Well, I hope that it works for you because I'm not sure why it didn't the first time. Oh, it works now. Great. Okay, we fixed it. Look at that. It's called troubleshooting. Call your librarian. To go back to openlibrary.org, you can make an account and you can borrow anything, and there are no limits because of the pandemic. One book that is public domain because it was published in 1914 is Gertrude Stein's Tender Buttons, which is a cuckoo poetry book. But for example, that's a book that you can read here. And the reason that you can read it is that it's on the Internet Archive. It won't have every book, but it's a fun thing to poke around and it's really user friendly. This is going to take a while to load, so I'm not going to fuck with that. It's been about 15 minutes, so I want to get on to the meaty stuff, which is the Wayback Machine. The Wayback Machine is literally an archive of the internet. If you want to know what Facebook looked like in 2000, what are you shaking your head at, Olives?
Kyle just asked me if I had used that, and I have not used it.
Oh, cool. If you want to see what Facebook looked like in 2005, this is where you go. That's how I'm going to demonstrate first. Holy shit, 1998? That's disgusting. Let's see what it looked like in February 4th, 1999. What? Okay, this is not right. Let's try again. Let's go to this time, 2010. Take me there. I know what it looks like in 2020. Sorry, everybody, I'm having a slow connection. Okay, let's see if it'll let me go back to 2010. Coco points out that might be the website that was previously hosted at facebook.com before the Facebook we know bought the domain name, which I think is probably what happened. Olivia asks, do the peak represent how active it was at certain times? No, that is a measurement of the amount of times that it was saved to the Internet Archive. Let me go back. LOL. So that's what Facebook looked like in 20. Now, is it really? Did it really look like that, or is it just being dumb? Coco adds, sometimes our Wayback players are bad. Whoa. Okay, I've never actually seen this before. But this is 2012 and it looks like it's Dutch. And it's really free. I wonder if somebody in the Netherlands saved it. And it's really, really hating what I'm doing. So I'm going to get out of here. Oh my God, let me leave. Oh no. So let me go back to my sketch. So I know that I don't need to tell you how important it is to keep track of what's going on the internet, because that's where all of the good and evil of this world takes place, especially in this day and age. So websites like Facebook, even though that Wayback Machine situation was a little bit difficult, websites like Facebook, websites like NASA, websites that are like .govs, websites like that, generally, unless evil takes place, they are going to have the resources to stay alive. They're going to have the resources to keep their domain names. The websites that don't necessarily keep their domain names are artists' websites, little literary magazines, little online magazines of any sort, small nonprofits websites, things like that. So it's important for those websites to be archived somewhere where they can be kept safe, like on a server at the Internet Archive, because then we can look back at them and share them with each other, and we can get a look at what the internet looked like before. So one example that I want to use right now is my friend Sophie is an artist with an amazing website. And her website has been saved, it looks like 4 times, twice in 2 or 3 times in 2018 and once in 2019. So at 6:30 in August 2019, I saved it like a year ago, on one of my vigilante archiving trips. And then it looked like this. Literally amazing. Oh, it's been captured 6 times. That's beautiful. But I want to capture it the way that it looks now. And so I'm going to go over here to the lower right corner, and I'm going to save the page as it looks like today. And this machine is really smart. So it added the HTTP, as you can see here. And it's saving like a bunch of shit here. In total, it downloaded 125 things that it's saving to like preserve this website as it looks right now. And so it's going to take a little sec to do that. Maggie asks, are all those saves of the big websites done by individual people? And Olivia August asks, does it ever happen automatically? I don't know. I believe that they have a crawler that goes out and does it automatically, because I read recently that they have something that, oh, that's Coco's job. Oh my God, Coco, why aren't you doing this workshop? Am I right? Coco, if you post how it works in the chat, I will read it, or I'll even find your video. So Coco, are you saying that it's automatic?
Yeah, so there are like a bunch of different crawler programs that we run on a bunch of different servers, and they're kind of constantly running. And sometimes we do like specific crawls for like national libraries. So yeah, a lot of it's automatic. There's a lot of manual stuff too, but for the most part, we like just have all these programs doing it for us. So yeah,
Would my
collecting
friend
a lot.
Sophie's website ever get picked up by one of those crawlers?
Yeah, it's totally possible. It kind of, the way that it works is it kind of like starts at a bunch of websites, and then it like automatically clicks the links on each website and kind of just like crawls out onto the
Cool.
internet. So yeah, sometimes it's like random chance to know whether a website's going to be automatically picked up, but
That's so cool. Thank you for sharing. I'm so glad you're here. Um, so let's go see the snapshot that I took. You can click on this visit page link. So all of the crazy little things are going to pop up. And this is what Sophie's website looks like now. Oh, I just love it. Cool. So something that I'm going to drop this for anybody who's interested. I'm going to drop, come on now, let me live. This link into the chat. But basically I have like a small spreadsheet of little literary magazines, and a lot of these are like run by individuals. So I want to try looking at one of those on the Wayback Machine too. Let's try Dostoevsky Wannabe. Oh, that's only in print. Never mind. Oh no, Pink Magazine is big. Let's try Radar Poetry, which I don't think I've looked at since like 2014. Bye, Maggie. So here's radarpoetry.com. The home page is not super interesting. So let's go to the about page. That's not even interesting too. Issues. Let's do issue 18. I'm copying that. I'm going to, where am I going? Oh, I'm going to here. Let's see if it's been saved. This has been saved 8 times in the past year. That's amazing. Well, let's save it again. Just why not? Again, we're going to save page now. Boop. Freaking hell yeah. That's gonna save. And that's how you do it. I am so happy to know how the crawlers work, but I also want to encourage you to go forth and save your own website and save your friends' websites and save your favorite organizations' websites. I use the Wayback Machine a lot as a librarian because it is really helpful for me to go back specifically to look at old like art book websites, stores, Printed Matter and Ooga Booga specifically. I like to go back and look at their websites from like 2008, 2015, when certain books were published, because sometimes that's the only way that I can find out bibliographic information about books. And by using the Wayback Machine, you can look at the way that the internet used to look and the way that websites like Instagram and Facebook evolve, and how they learn from us, their users, in order to make themselves even more evil and more powerful. And from that, we can learn about ourselves and about them and about how to resist them and empower ourselves. I have to stop recording in 3 minutes, but does anybody have any questions while we're still recording? Cool. I'm gonna stop screen sharing. And go back to just us. And I want to thank you all for attending. Oh, hello, Olivia August. Are there a lot of just audio resources on the Internet Archive? The small answer is yes. What sort of audio resources are you talking about? What I do want to say about the Internet Archive is that not only are there like actual libraries that their resources are on the Internet Archive, actual libraries. Not only are there actual libraries resources on the Internet Archive, but there are also just like people. Like I can make an account on the Internet Archive and upload things to it. So keep that in mind. Some people are just uploading their own radio shows. So you have to be mindful when you're looking through, but that's just research, baby. Cool. I gotta end this recording. But I want to thank all of you for coming. And if you have any more cues, let me know. I hope that you enjoy this resource, and I hope that you go forth and look at the Pralinger archives and the Wayback Machine, and that you have a really great time and go forth and do your amazing work. And Coco, thank you for answering some of our questions and for joining us. And I hope I didn't mess anything up.